This is Evie with WKNC talking to Isa from Slow Crush.
So I'm Isa from Slow Crush. We just start off, Slow Crush is heavy shoegaze and based in Belgium. Yeah, we've been playing music together for quite a long time, from various musical backgrounds, mainly from harder genres. So this is the first time we've done something a little bit softer, a little bit more. Really, actually, the idea was that we wanted to try something different. So we wanted to maybe go a little bit more in the indie route, and then the sort of heavy shoegaze style lended well to our style of playing in general. So that's the bucket that we've been generally put in, but I think a lot of listeners can hear all of the different elements coming from everything else that we've ever played before. So there's a lot of hardcore and a bit heavier pounding rhythms that you can hear in our sound, and then some metal influences going in there, then with the dreamy vocals over that and all of the effects. That's what kind of ties it all together and lends the shoegaze name. Shoegaze is very niche in Belgium, so there's not a lot of bands that play out here, and we've always seen from the beginning that our fans are mainly based in the US or the UK. So yeah, UK being kind of the instigators of shoegaze with My Bloody Valentine and Slow Dive, and I think in the US it's just sort of skyrocketed. Like, definitely coming across to the US, everybody is so much more open and open to showing their emotions and feelings, and so we get a lot of it's great to see the crowd dancing. Having multiple sort of ideas coming from multiple people, it's definitely something that builds your story. We tend to write our songs starting off with one idea and then building from there. So we build like layer upon layer upon layer, like the story has different chapters. We're putting all of the pieces together by adding each layer of guitar over guitar over guitar. So our books can be pretty heavy sometimes. There was one song that we recorded in the studio, and we looked back at the tracks, and I think there were over 200 guitar tracks alone on that one song. So a lot of chapters to that story. But yeah, I think that we do tend to have a flow that does create a nice little story thread. And I think that's definitely you can hear that on the album as well. As I mentioned, we sort of go from sort of something very uplifting. I heard somebody actually describe it as, instead of the calm before the storm, it's like the solemnity before an impending nightmare. With any Slow Crush song, I feel that we always try to mix the light and the dark in general, so we've always got that balance. Some songs, one side weighs heavier than others, but we always have like the hopefulness that can be heard in there. So I think that is the key to every Slow Crush story. We all kind of grew up listening to sort of the 90s style music, so that was the idea. starting the band. I think the shoegaze part of it just sort of fell into place when I realized that was the best vocal timbre for me. So we just came off the back of a very doomy metal band, and our singer had left, and then we just floated the idea of me singing in that band, but I just can't scream or grunt, so that just didn't work. And then yeah, we were listening to a lot of more European bands like Mum Runner and Jaguar from Germany, and that style of vocals was easy for me to sing. So we just tried something like that out. I think we started off with a cover of Pity Sex, I think, and that worked really well. So we thought, okay, well, this fits the idea that we wanted to go in anyway. So yeah, that style of writing also came naturally to us. David Lynch used a lot of shoegaze before as well, and I think if you the final season of Twin Peaks, where they had like a band play at the end of every episode, I think it was. Yeah, I think that the first episode was with the Chromatics, so that was very, very, very much shoegazy. But I think that this genre lends well to anything David Lynchy. and essentially everything has spawned off from blues, right? So yeah, blues influenced rock and roll, and then that just sort of diversed into various forms of pop music, or then rebellious things like punk. So everything comes from blues eventually. Whether there's a particular Belgium, I think Belgium has always sort of been looking at the States and the UK for styles of music that it's created. I mean, yeah, you had the old sort of kind of crooners back in the day, but then I suppose that they were also influenced by yeah, I guess Tom Jones isn't probably as old, but things like, yeah, from the UK, similar, like Max Bygraves perhaps. So I think Belgium has always been looking across the water for inspiration. But I might be completely wrong. Being British myself, I might not know the entire history of Belgian music, but maybe one thing to tie it in. So, you know, the saxophone was created in Belgium, and we do have a little saxophone part on our new record. So there we go. Belgium represent. A little bit of a brighter theme in terms of the artwork. We're still sort of, I don't know if you've noticed, but all of our album covers have had a similar theme, being in that there's a person on the cover, but they're never fully in view. So the face is always obstructed. So that is the theme that's kind of gone through the albums, but this time with a different color palette. Yeah, we felt that the color maybe matched the music a little bit more. The album itself, we thought long and hard about the flow of the tracks, and we really liked the way that we put it together, where we sort of created a yin-yang, side A, side B, a little bit like Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. So the side A is a little bit more up-tempo and uplifting, and then side B is the darker side sort of thing. And that's kind of represented in the album cover as well, where you've got the yellow, the brightness on the left, and then gradually going into the darker right side of the cover. But yeah, we spent a long time writing the album. Well, we spent a long time touring off the previous album, because we really wanted to get that out there everywhere and play as much as we could. So it took us a while before we could really sort of sit down and focus on finessing the tracks, getting them ready for recording, which we finally managed to do late last year. So we went back to the ranch production house, which is in the UK, where we recorded Aurora as well. We've recorded a couple of sessions there before. Recording them, we kind of went in there with the idea to try something new in the studio, so that was back at the ranch as well. We just recorded them as essentially like demo recordings, but then we wanted to bring that out, so we brought it out as a single. I think you just learn so much if you've played so many shows, toured so much, and been in contact with lots of different musicians. You see, like, everybody sort of checks out each other's pedal boards, and then you see what's on stage, and you think, maybe that would work for what we're trying to get at. So it's just always a case where you pick up things as you go along, and I like, even on my desk right now, there are just so many pedals that we have used in the past but may no longer use. So the countless numbers of times we've changed our complete backline, and even now we're trying out a new in-ear monitoring system. So as I said, every show there's something new that we learn about and want to try out. So being able to connect, because we do find that we bring a lot of different people together. Music does in general. I think that music is kind of a universal way to be able to enjoy something together, no matter what cultural background you come from. If you see how many listeners come from completely opposite sides of the world who have no connection at all, but then their music interests can be that way to bring those people together, then it's just a beautiful thing. That will just be after our album release, so we will have our new records with us. Our album comes out at the end of August, the 28th of August, I believe. So we'll have them fresh off the press and ready to share with you all. So yeah.